So my name's Emma Last and I'm the Partnerships and Engagement Coordinator at Study Melbourne. And I'd like to begin by paying my respects to the elders past, present and emerging. As well, I'd like to say thanks to Kate Jeffrey for her leadership on this project and bringing us together. I just find it so fascinating and inspiring hearing from the students. Thank you for sharing your courageous stories. We hold those stories and plan programs based on them. And also I'd like to acknowledge the incredible work that the education providers are doing with students. It's been a wonderful year for amazing responsive work. Study Melbourne's a government initiative and we support international students. We've got a range of programs, including things like the Study Melbourne Student Centre that provide welfare support and employability programs. And we also provide grants to build community capacity to address student needs. In 2019, there were over 227,000 international students in Victoria, and this number has dropped in 2020 as students were stranded overseas with border closures. And new students have been unable to arrive. In Victoria, we really value the contribution of international students and many have done it really tough this year. In response to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Victorian government has provided $2 million in food aid and $45 million in the International Student Emergency Relief Fund, and we are certainly committed to ongoing investment in the sector. Students come to Victoria because they want to belong and they want to get to know us. They're smart, resilient and determined. They speak multiple languages. They adeptly juggle cultural divides in a way that few of us locals will ever know. And they teach us so many diplomacy skills that help to make us better friends, neighbours and global citizens. And they enliven Melbourne. Today is an invitation to consider how you can bring the student voice into your neighbourhood. Two of the 4 best practice examples that we'll cover have been supported by grants from the Study Melbourne International Student Welfare Program. And since 2014, this program has awarded more than $4.5 million to fund 116 projects, and all are designed to create better health and wellbeing outcomes for students. And particularly in this year, we are having projects that respond to COVID-19. This is vital because, as we've heard, international students are a vulnerable cohort in our community and they are potentially at double the risk of experiencing mental ill health compared to our local population. We prioritise projects that address sexual and mental health, leadership, student empowerment, employability and student work rights. So in essence, our grants are all about inclusion. To be eligible for a grant, each project must include a partnership between an organisation and an education provider. This embeds student perspectives in the project and ensures a targeted referral base. It's the same model that many education providers have used this year, working in partnership with local charities to deliver food aid to students. It's a model that works. We've had many outstanding projects, including those with the Centre for Holistic Health, Indian Care, Melbourne Writers Festival, the National Gallery, sporting clubs, Family Planning Victoria, Origin, Headspace, and so many more. Each grant uses the expertise of students and student organisations to address a need and tailor their projects to the student community. Together, we are steadily making Victoria a place of welcome for students around the globe. Listening to the projects, I hope you're inspired to consider creative and impactful ways that you can engage our student community. What could your program gain by connecting with student ambassadors and education providers? And who's in this session that you want to reach out to? And I include myself as well as part of that. I'd like to now hand over to Fei Liao and to Nguyen, who will share with you the work of Story is Connection. Study Melbourne has funded a number of projects by Story is Connection, involving collaborations between university partners and student organisations. Their projects have captured the voice of international students through creative workshops and performances that address issues impacting their lives. The projects have created friendships and improved self-confidence. The stories were in equal parts funny, brave, sad, and incredibly powerful, and the results are simply unforgettable. At the beginning of the good practice presentations, we'd like our audience to add any other good practice initiatives, programs, and activities that you're aware of while listening to speakers. You can use the Q&A function on Slido, and I'll now hand over to Fei. Thank you.
Thank you, Emma from Study Melbourne. Yeah, and hi everyone, I'm Fei.
Hi, I'm Tu from Now Line number 2. We
are Story is Connection. And you can see IS is international students, and we bridge diversity. I'm the co-founder and also the managing director of Story is Connection. So I came to Melbourne when I was 16 years old by myself. And I used to be an international student as well. That's me here. And I was performing as an international student in this project funded by Study Melbourne Active Translation in 2017. And I performed with other 20 international students on the stage. 2020, many of them have already left, but we are still connected and we are like a family. And that sense of belonging and home was something I've never felt before. It was a magic. So I continued with Catherine Simmons, who is the artistic director, and that's when BUB Sing was born.
BUB Sing is a series of workshops, performing, theatrical performance, and game playing for international students. We attract more than 800 international students join our program, which is sponsored by Study of Melbourne. The performance is very beautiful and authentic, come from the student voice and spread their own story. And the student is very, very brave to really share their personal story, some of the story untold, and some of the story is never heard from their families. And we produce 25 live performances on stage that inspire thousands of audience.
So during COVID, we have to transform our practice like everybody does to be online. Instead of doing the performance, we are producing films, which is the Limbo project we did during COVID. And actually, I was stuck in China and I experienced the whole lockdown from China and I struggled to come back. My visa was expiring and my flight tickets were canceled. I couldn't come back. And that was a hard decision as well because my mom was unwell and I was thinking whether I should come back or not. But eventually I still decided to come back because I knew that there are many international students who were struggling and I will be able to help them out. That's why I came back. And after I came back, so I delivered the Limbo film and we engaged 21 international students from Tanzania, Brazil, Colombia, Vietnam, China to share their stories during COVID, during lockdown. And many of them shared their feelings, and that's the important part, to be able to share their stories to the wider community, and including Michael, who was in the panel session as well. Actually, Michael was one of the performers in BUB Sing, and he was one of the participants in Limbo, sharing his challenges during Limbo. At the same time, he is also a project coordinator, and he grew personally and also both professionally as well. Well, the Limbo film is on our Story is Connection YouTube channel. You will be able to watch it. And I cannot wait for you to say, oh, after I watched Limbo film, that's what I feel. Looking forward to that conversation.
Success of Limbo project have opened a lot of opportunity for us. at Story Connections, it is very important for us to collaborate. So we work with City of Melbourne to do a limbo film project screening with their staff during their lunch break hours and receive a lot of good compliment from that. We will also show our limbo film at the conference in February next year, Coronavirus and its impact on international students. Our second short film is The Gift of Story in collaboration with MIT Training. We work with 10 students from MIT Training to document their personal story in an authentic way. And 3 of them not even arrived Australian yet. Am I Vietnamese or Mexican? Hola mucho. Come on, let's stay. Adios.
Well, I came to Melbourne. I thought, oh, I want to be free. But after many years of staying in Australia, I realized the real intention of my dad sending me here. He doesn't want me to be he doesn't want me to suffer from the pressure from the family expectation and also the pressure from the society. So he wanted me to explore the life. Here I am, explore who I want to be freely and also to find the life I want to have here.
I am very excited to announce our upcoming project with Marine Bidon Council. Same, different me.
Same, different me. We're very excited to collaborate with the Melbourne Council because that's their first time to engage international students. So what we will do is to run a series of workshops to bring international students to act out their stories. Where do I belong and where is my home? Should I stay? Should I leave? So many questions. So here we are, bring same different me, and you will be able to contact me for the details if you want to participate.
And I'm very proud to announce the new exhibitions in Immigration Museum, which is launched next week. Forget the stereotypes, in collaboration with Story Connections. The exhibition showcase story of students from the Act of Translations is one of our productions 2 years ago. And I'm really looking forward to welcome you to come and visit and see our work at Immigration Museum.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for inviting us here. So basically, all the students, they want to stay with Stories Connection because they say, oh, I feel I can be who I am without any judgment. And the capacity of Catherine to hold the vulnerability in the space and Irene. We're going to have pre-Christmas dinner with Irene at her house. So all the students, they connect, and also with our partners, they also become friends. Their passion, their commitment, and their empathy. So we all connect and we all share our stories together. That's why they always come back, like Michael.
Thank you, Kate and Shara and the team at Inno-East Memory Care Partnership to organize this great event. And thank you for all the speakers to share their experience. We have been learning a lot from you as well. So now we want to introduce you, Be You, Be Seen from Story is Connection.
Welcome to the greatest show on earth. Now you see me, now you don't. Remember when we together We were role playing.
I know you're feeling sad. It's okay.
Why do you feel so empty?
It's okay. You're crying in front of people. It's okay.
I will get my master. Just give me time.
I know it hurts. Just breathe.
I function in the daytime, but I cry every night.
I'm not in bed because I'm studying too hard. I'm in bed because I don't know how to get out.
I can't think. I can't write. I'm gonna fail. I can't do this!
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat. Reality. Please be nice to me.
Nobody can relate to you. Why are you even here? What is your purpose really?
There's an advertisement at the back of the toilet saying, counseling. Can I talk to someone in Mandarin? No. I'll call you back.
Just breathe. You're afraid people will leave you. Some people will stay. You feel what you feel. There's no right or wrong. It's okay. A lot of memories I probably forgot, but it's good to see them again.
I know every issue they're talking about. Looking at the mirror.
Well, a little bit afraid.
I can relate to all of their stories. It happened to me years ago, but I'm all good now.
Hi everybody, I'm just taking over from Sarah as MC for the last part of this forum. Thank you for all for joining us. I'm from the Inner East PCP. I'm going to introduce you to some best practice initiatives that are being conducted in the community. You've seen Stories Connection now, but we're going to look at some of the more community-based initiatives as well. So I'm going to introduce you now to Grace. Grace works for EACH, which is a community health service, and she's the community education and promotion worker for Chinese Peer Connection. This is an important project because it involves working with international students in secondary schools. We've been focusing on international students at higher education institutions, but there's a large number of students, international students, who are also studying at secondary school. It's a really important example also of partnership between a number of organisations bringing this together. So now over to you, Grace.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Grace from EACH Chinese Peer Connection. Today, I'm very happy to come here to show you in 2020 what we have done. Currently, to support secondary school international students. Oh, sorry. Here, yeah. Okay. Back to in April, we understand that international students are facing unprecedented pressure and challenges. In order to ensure the well-being of the international students at the school, we joined School Folks Youth Service International Students Support Project. We use peer-to-peer support approaching methods to have successfully run 5 Chinese-speaking webinars for 2 state government secondary school and an independent school. I would like to thank the first year very creative university students Pippa Gan. An absolutely youth leader works with me to host the webinars for the students in Mandarin speaking. By sharing her study abroad experience, she encourages students to keep in touch with their families and encourage everyone to stay healthy. Pippa has put together some tips and tricks that she finds helps her stay well and energized, especially during the lockdown period. Here, I also like to highlight this program is funded and greatly supported by School Folks Youth Service. This is a statewide program. The intention is to support schools to identify students in year 5 to 12 who might be at risk of disengagement, and to develop and fund intervention that support students to improve well-being and strengthen their relationship with school. This can be directed programs for students or training for staff and families. In August, when the school feels struggling to lock the webinars time with us due to the complexity of different year level, instead of webinars, we discussed putting together a series of short videos, each focusing on a topic and share with the students. So we managed to create 2 videos in Chinese and English, maintaining good health, adjusting to life online. In the short video on maintaining good health, this video focuses on 3 main topics: exercise, food, and sleep. It also includes some recommendation for online resources that students can access themselves for free. Now, I would like to invite you to watch Adjusting to Live online video with me to understand how we did. Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Pippa, and today I'd like to talk about adjusting to life online. With my whole first year of uni being taught as distance education, as well as facing the restrictions of lockdown, I've noticed that there are some important things to remember when navigating this new lifestyle. Number 1 is staying safe online. With the increased amount of time that we spend online, it's good to be extra cautious about what we hear and see on the internet. Watching out for strange emails, texts, or phone calls, as well as thinking clearly before we share our personal information online, can help us avoid being scammed. Being aware of how much time and money we spend on social media and gaming can help us avoid forming addictive behaviors, especially as many games mimic aspects of gambling. Remember that what we read on the internet is not always true, and it's important to read multiple good quality news sources before we trust what is said. Number 2 is taking a break. Too much screen time makes my eyes tired and my head ache, so I make sure that I take a break from technology. Instead of constantly being on the computer, I like to enjoy my offline hobbies. I really enjoy playing the guitar and the piano and find that it's a great way to relax. Drawing is my other hobby, and I often use my pictures to decorate my room. Number 3 is staying connected. Just because we can't visit people in person doesn't mean that we have to feel alone. Whenever I miss my brother, I give him a video call. And applications like Zoom, Discord, WeChat, and Messenger have been wonderful in helping me connect with my friends and classmates. I've been able to chat, watch movies, have an online chess tournament, and even study for exams with them. It's important to remember that if we ever feel worried or uneasy, there are many people we can reach out to. Our friends and family, teachers and classmates are just one call or message away, and we shouldn't hesitate to keep in touch.
Thank
you. That is our showcase. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Grace, for that presentation. I'm now going to invite Trami and Simon to present on the work of the Rotary Club of Box Hill Burwood and some Tom's Hope project, which has been supporting international students in collaboration with Deakin University and Box Hill Institute. This is a great example of the mainstream community stepping up and helping international students during this difficult time. So over to you, Trami.
Great, thanks so much, Kate. Let me just share my screen with you. So hi everyone, and thank you so much for the opportunity to be part of this forum to share with you about our food pantry for international students. So Simon will shortly share with you about the Rotary Club's involvement in the initiative. But firstly, I wanted to take you through what we actually do. So St Tom's Hope is a not-for-profit organisation based in Burwood, less than a kilometre away from Deakin. One of our directors is a chaplain at Deakin. So when the pandemic hit and we started hearing about international students within our midst facing financial hardship and not being able to access government assistance, we decided to turn our annual food drive that normally supports local emergency relief centres into a food drive to assist international students. So the pantry has been operating for 6 months now. We see up to 200 students each Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. I have a few photos now to share with you of what a typical Saturday morning looks like. So students line up, socially distanced, of course. New students are given a blue Hope for Whitehorse shopping bag for them to fill and reuse. And as you can see in that picture, we provide all the key staple items. We are also very conscious of cultural needs, and as a large percentage of students are from India, we have an Indian groceries corner and a great selection of spices. We get bread donated from Baker's Delight, which the students have come to enjoy, as well as pre-prepared meals cooked by the Parliament Kitchen. We also supply students with fresh fruit and vegetables. Some are donated right from people's backyards. And one of the great initiatives that we've been able to introduce are these meal kits. So working in conjunction with Access Health and Community, we provide up to 100 of these HelloFresh style meal kits to students each week. The recipes are put together by a dietitian, designed to promote healthy eating and encourage students to cook for themselves and thereby improving their cooking skills. So by the time the students go through all the different stations, most of them end up with a couple of bags of groceries. Now, of course, we can't provide everything. So for example, meat, and we're often quite low on toiletries. So on the way out, every student is also given a $20 supermarket voucher from Woolworths or Aldi for them to go ahead and buy any other essential items that they need. And I know I speak for everyone who's involved in the program that it's been a pleasure to be able to help the international students, just to be able to take some weight and pressure off in whatever way that we can. So the operation is staffed completely by volunteers, and all the supplies you see are either donated or purchased by us using monetary donations and grants. The Rotary Club of Box Hill Burwood in particular has played a huge part in making the food pantry what it is today, not only by way of grants, but also in practical assistance. Simon himself drops off all the bread and pastries to us every Saturday morning, amongst many other things, as you can see in that photo. So with that, let me hand you over to Simon now to tell you a little bit more.
Thank you, Trami, and good afternoon, everyone. Our Rotary Club of Box Hill Burwood became aware of the need with international students through a friend who's been involved with the State Government Emergency Relief Fund for international students that Emma spoke of. And it seems that some 29,000 international students have so far applied and received the grants that were on offer back in March, April. The grant's $1,100, that doesn't go very far. And our friend at working with that fund informed us that there's much greater need, ongoing need for food support. We then learned what Trami and St. Thomas Hope were doing through our local church. And we began a project for the support of the students. And the support takes several forms, and we deliver bread, as you can see on the photo there. And also the meals cooked in the Parliament House kitchens. There's another charity in Preston, Alex Makes Meals, and they donate meals as well. We deliver those to the pantry. But there's other organisations that will donate hand sanitizers and food masks, and also personal care packs. So there's a wide variety of products, not only food that is coming into the pantry and the students can pick up as they make their way around the tables on a Saturday morning. We feel that very honoured and pleased that we've been able to help in this regard. Rotary has around 100 clubs in Melbourne, and all of them do community grants. And our particular club, we've donated either cash to the pantry to help pay for those vouchers that Trami mentioned, or else through food support. And also we've had members of the Chinese and the Indian community support financially, and that goes into the pot. Deakin University in particular has been fantastic with their support, and apart from the $16 million they've given this year in emergency relief to students, they recently gave us a $20,000 grant to go towards this St. Thomas Hope project. I know time is limited, but one of the things that has really struck us about the help for the international students is the thanks that they have, and they're so grateful for the generosity of Australians towards them. And I know that they take that back with them when they finish their courses and do get back home. They'll remember we not only gave them money to support them through this hard time, but also we helped to feed them and meet their other needs. So just one quick example of what the need was. I had a call recently from a young man down in Clayton who was in a share house, and actually I was told of him that he hadn't eaten in 3 days. We loaded up 2 bags of groceries to take down to him, and he was so overcome he couldn't even speak. He now has got a job out in Pakenham. This is 2 months on, where we delivered food to him every Sunday morning. And he rang me the other day to ask whether he could volunteer as a thank you for what we've been able to do to sustain him through this very difficult period. And as I said, it's just wonderful to be able to help. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Trami and Simon, for a great presentation. This is a really important initiative. He said, so I'd like to introduce you to Josna Rao from Indian Care. Jos is the coordinator of the International Student Welfare Program for Indian Care. Again, this is another really important initiative because it is the work of Indian Care also represents is an example of the migrant communities in Australia, in Melbourne, stepping up and supporting international students during this difficult time. And I really hope that embrace of students continues into the future. So Jos, over to you.
Thank you, Kate. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jyotsna Rao, Coordinator for Project South Asian International Student Support, also called as Project SAS, funded by Study Melbourne. So I'm at Indian Care, and Indian Care is a welfare organization looking after the needs of Indian origin people in Victoria. SAS is student-led. It was designed by feedback from the students. So the aims of our project is to empower, educate, and support the international students from South Asian countries, India, Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Myanmar to live confidently in Victoria. We are a consortium of 11 partners, of which 6 are community organizations with Indian Care as the lead. Our partners are Good Cycle Social Enterprise, Hindu Organizations and Temple Association Forum, Australia-India Society Victoria, Australia-India Sports Council, and Aussies Education and Immigration Consultants. Together, we support students from University of Melbourne, RMIT, La Trobe, Victoria, and Federation Uni. So the logo of SAS is a blooming flower, which was designed by the students of Project SAS from RMIT and Federation University. It represents the colors of the countries and indicates that there is unity in diversity. So first, we offered emergency relief, which was funded by the Multicultural Community Task Force through Department of Premier and Cabinet. What we did was provided food vouchers of supermarkets, which actually was able to support an estimate of 430 international students, including 10 families across 26 local governments. Then we have organized so far 5 free events. This was mainly promoted by the university students through their social media network and university international student groups, through LinkedIn, through local council networks, through personal networks, and on Study Melbourne international student groups. What we also did was stream some of these events on our Facebook page live. So what we have found is that we get maximum engagement through social media. I have managed to connect and engage hundreds of students through WhatsApp groups, and they are, like Varsha said earlier, prefer informal communication channels. We also have used our Indian Care Facebook page to update events during Diwali, which is our most important festival, the Festival of Lights, where families get together. And so we were able to link the students to various online events within Melbourne, and they were able to celebrate with their peers. So as of today, we have reached an estimated 4,800 people. Our videos have so far got 1,577 views, and our Facebook like has jumped from 320 to 544 in 2 months. We have a long way to go. So we will begin the new year with connecting our students to the South Asian businesses and professionals with interactive workshops on networking essentials, building on what we have already offered and run. Our first workshop was on how enterprise skills can be looked upon and applied to job applications. 3 of our students have secured interviews. We also had Know Your Rights and Responsibilities, focusing on public transport safety. We asked DHHS, Department of Health and Human Services, to speak about COVID safety, so the students were aware what to do and where to go when the when the lockdown restrictions were being eased. We asked Job Watch because we have a large number of our students from our community who are on uncertain, casualized jobs and contracts. So we asked Job Watch to run a webinar on what their rights were at work. And we asked Aussie's education and immigration consultants to provide updates on student visas and temporary graduate visas. This has helped our students a lot. All of this have been delivered, keeping in mind what our conversations have been with our students. 2021 brings us hope. We will be rolling out a series of mental health and well-being workshops, as well as addressing need in terms of connecting them to business communities through networking and LinkedIn and other social media tools. I would like to thank Inner East Primary Care Partnership, Kate, Emma, and Varsha for giving us this opportunity to share what we have done. We strongly believe that these are our children and therefore we need to support them in Victoria. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joss, for that presentation. We're now being joined by Wei Tay. Wei is the Deputy Chair of the Victorian Multicultural Commission. Wei is also the Migrant Student Program Coordinator at Swinburne. And we'd very much like to hear from you, Wei, about your reflections on international students and this forum. I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Kate. Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to join you today for this important event. I would like to begin by paying my respect to the traditional owners of the land on which I'm speaking from today, and pay my respect to the elders past, present, and emerging, and celebrate the diversity of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders people and their ongoing cultures and connection to the land and water of Victoria. I would also like to pay my respect to any Aboriginal people who are attending this event today. I'm glad to be here to support and celebrate the commitment demonstrated by the Inner East Primary Care Partnership to support international students. Thank you to our incredible panel speakers of international students for sharing their experience with us today. I would also like to thank particularly Kate for her ongoing commitment to empowering our international students and bringing all the stakeholders together is a reflection of how lucky we are in Victoria to have community champions like us. The focus on international students is usually about the contribution they make to the economy through tuition and so on, but international students contribute to our communities in so many different ways that have often not been mentioned. International students are ambassadors of peace, for healing, and for our future. They bring to our communities together and also the opportunity to learn and grow together. It isn't widely known or acknowledged the contribution that international students make through volunteering, for example. Over the last few years, I have noticed through my work at Swinburne University alone, the number of hours that our international students put in terms of volunteering is commendable and is amazing. This is something we all truly appreciate by the communities here, as well as contributing here in this wonderful state. Many young people who have come to our shores to take their education back to their homeland so that they can make it a better place. And so we all have a sense of responsibility in terms of how we interact, how we engage, and how we treat one another here in Victoria. International students create that experience we value and we enjoy here in Australia and in Victoria in particular. International students' contribute not only just economically, but to the sense of belonging, our social cohesion, and to our social fabric. They are a symbol of our future And as someone who has worked at a university, I'm so proud of all the contribution and hard work that international students put in, adapting to new cultures, studying, and being away from home. That is so brave. International students are a role model for Victorians, and we celebrate them. We need to acknowledge the importance of international students and promote them as valued member of our multicultural society. It is fundamental that we include their voice when we are developing community-based services. We need to listen to their needs and hopes so we can ensure services are tailored and meaningful. The coronavirus pandemic highlighted the need to support our international students. International students and other temporary migrants are unable to access federal government support, leaving some reliant on charity. And it is inspiring to see so many community groups and organizations setting up new initiatives to support our international students. And I just want to reflect, I've had the privilege and opportunity to work closely with a small organization called the Refugee Community Association of Australia, which was recently launched in February this year. But through the pandemic, this organization was able to provide over 13 tons of food to our community members, both our local migrants and also to our international students. And many of you might have seen me actively driving around delivering food. But one of the reflection I wanted to share there is the sense of, I guess, the sense of commitment that our communities are having in terms of working together and supporting one another so that no one is left behind. We need to keep up this great work and include international students in our community-based initiatives. Let's continue to work together and build our relationships and program developed during this coronavirus so that we can have a better future. Once again, I would like to commend the Inner East Primary Care Partnership, Deakin University, Monash University, Swinburne University of Technology, Holmes Glen Institute, Study Melbourne, and all the other volunteers and organizations who have been involved, who have taken, I guess, the next step in being proactive and helping our international students. I look forward to continuing to work closely with you all to supporting these initiatives in the future, and also partnering with you all through the Victorian Multicultural Commission. Thank you once again for inviting me to be involved in this very, very important event, and I wish you all the very, very best. Thank you very much.